Alright guys, welcome back for another video, and today we're talking about the Last Gameboard here again. Today I wanted to cover a topic that I haven't covered on the channel yet, which is the Last Gameboard has been going back and adding a lot of features to games here, where it's actually going through and adding, you guys know that the game board, one of the things that I love about it is that you can use your phone to basically act as a companion app. So if you're playing games that require secret information, like letters or tiles or cards and stuff like that, they'll show on everyone's phone so they can universally pick those cards and no one else can see them and then play them into the game. I think it's a great feature. It's a feature that I've been wanting other companies to follow suit with. We've been asking for companion apps on other companies' products as well. And the Last Gameboard actually has it, which I think is fantastic, and it's still my preferred way to play. However, they did start adding an option into all of their games, and for the back ones and for everything going forward. And basically what's going to happen is that they're going to now let you to use a gesture on here that kind of covers your hand, and you can still play the game without actually having a phone or a companion app. Now, this is great for people who have kids and stuff like that that may not have phones. For everybody in the family, if you're a family of 4 or 6, and you may not have phones for everyone at the table, then this is obviously a great option so everyone can still play the game. So today, I just wanted to showcase how that feature works on some of these games. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so welcome back. So we are going to first start talking about Downforce. Downforce is one of my favorite games on the game board. It's actually a really fun, bidding style racing game that I actually own in my collection as well. And today I wanted to start showing you how this one works. It's one of the latest ones that they added this feature into. Like I said, they went back and added it to all of their past games that were already in the catalog, and it's something that they're going to continue to do going forward, where they'll have the companion app feature in games that it makes sense, but they'll also always give you an option as well to do it this way, with the gesture on your hand. So as this game opens up here, let's go ahead and make sure we're logged into one of our profiles here. For the time being, I'm just going to log in as guest, make my selection blue here, go ahead and ready myself up, and let's just go ahead and add, let's actually just add 4 AI here, and we're going to go ahead and hit play. We'll play on the river station here. Now, granted, of course, if you're playing against the CPU like I'm showing you here and no one else is at the table, you obviously don't need to do this, because obviously it doesn't matter who sees your cards because there's no one looking at you at the table. But obviously pretend that the other players that you're playing with would be people around the table that you're playing with. You can see it kind of reminds you, and as you can see here, it says swipe up on the middle card to play it. So you can kind of look at your cards, and this has like a little gesture. You can look at the cards that you have in your hand, make your determination based on what you have here. So let's see, by looking at all of these cards that I have here, I can kind of swipe through. And I don't know if it's coming across in the actual video, but you could clearly see the colors and the the numbers on them and stuff like that. So it's not like you can't see it. So looks like orange is one of my most prevalent colors that I can do on here. So it's going to be the one that I'm going to go for. So I'm just going to play this because I don't really care about the black one, just so I lose it. So that goes to that player there. Now, orange is the one that I do want, so let's go ahead and see what we have here. Go ahead and say that I want this one. Hopefully I don't lose it. Wow, that guy got the orange one too, so that's not good for us. All right, so now that we all have our colors here, this AI is playing with 3 of them. Everyone else has 1 of them, so we're going to go ahead and start the race here. Let's see who goes first. It looks like that player over there in the corner is up first. He's selecting his card. And then you can play a game like this, like I said, with your hand of, without, usually if you were playing this game, it would be on the companion app, and these cards would all be, in your hand. But here, as you can see, you can kind of just show them off like that. And in this game in particular, you can see when you place your hand down, you have to wait a second or two for the cards to pop up. That's probably there so you don't accidentally reveal your cards or anything like that. So when you take your hand off of it and you put your hand right above your shield, give it like 2 seconds, and then you can see it pops up. So then you just go ahead, swipe up when you're ready for your card. I selected the green one there. And then boom, my car is moving along the track here. And it is a really cool way to play the game. Like I said, in my personal preference, of course, I would still use the companion app every time, except if I'm just playing the game by myself. If I'm playing the game by myself, this is a great option. I don't have to, take out my phone or anything like that, even though sometimes I may still use the companion app just because I think it's fun and it's a cool way to play the game and a lot of what I like about the Last Gameboard in general. But like I said, it is cool that it's an option here. And when I play with other people, obviously, if not everyone has a phone, then some people can kind of use the companion app, and some people don't have to, because you could use a mixture. So you can have some people using the companion app, and then obviously some other people just using their hand blade, which is what the gesture is called, by the way, which I forgot to mention. It's called hand blade is what they call it, that you're actually doing on here. So we're already past the first round, and then you place your bets. So that gives you an idea. Obviously, I don't need to go through a whole entire game, but that gives you an idea of what this game is like. If I swipe this up and kind of get out of here, just to show you another game here that kind of gives you an example on how this stuff works. Like I said, a lot of the games use it, but let's go ahead and say we were looking at Night of the Ninja. That will be another one here that we show off that has the exact same idea. In this game here, we're going to have to create a couple of drawers because it does require 4 people. So we're just going to go ahead and just create 4 drawers real quick. This game does not have AI play in it, which is why we need to create, obviously, 4 drawers, because otherwise we can't play the game. There we go. And then we can all swipe in, just like that. And we can hit start. See the cards being dealt there. Again, every game reminds you that you can use your hand gesture there as it's telling everybody else in their specific color, which is a nice touch. And it's telling you select 2 cards to pass to the player on your left. So you kind of would do one of these again. As you can see, it pops up. And then you can see your cards. Obviously, the text there is a little small, but if you have good eyes, you could read them. But a lot of the same cards in this game end up being the same. So you'll start recognizing, hey, I know what Spy does. It's to look at someone else's card, stuff like that. But then you kind of just select 2 cards and just swipe up. And there you go. You selected 2 cards to pass to the left. Everyone else, of course, has to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to nonchalantly pass these cards up here. Swipe up. Do the same thing for the other player. I'm going to swipe up 2 cards for here randomly. And then I will go to the other side of the table and just randomly swipe up 2 cards from here as well. And boom. We have that ready to go. And then it's telling you we got to discard 1 for every player, blah, blah, blah. Then you go around, like I said, you look at whichever card you want to discard. Oh, and you got to discard one of the ones that were passed to you, so you can't select the other one that you have here. Didn't know that was a rule. So that's good to know that the game actually does that, because I did not know that you couldn't pass your own card that you kept. You have to select one of the other ones. So it is really cool. Like I said, you can see it works pretty well. As you can see me doing it for these games here, and you kind of just swipe up. Again, it's a great option to have for some of these games. Now, this game here in particular is very much about hidden information and playing with hidden information and stuff like that. And this game requires up to 8 players. So for me, I'd rather play with the companion app, because then you don't have to worry about everyone hovering around the table, making sure people don't see your cards. But again, still a great option, and it's good when most of the table can be using the companion app, and then other people can kind of go through and not use the companion app if they don't want to. And here you can look at your points by hovering over that. You can see what house you belong to by hovering over it, which is important. And then if you had any points, it'd be sitting right here. So again, this works really well on here in a game like this. The gesture, as you can see, works really well. Reminds you, you can see the gesture always reminds you how to use it, and it seems to work pretty well. The last game I'm going to show you here that does the exact same thing with the hand blade is Koi. So this is another game that has the exact same idea here, as far as giving you the option of either using the companion app to hide your hidden information on the cards, or again using the hand blade gesture here that we're talking about here today. So we'll see what this game does and how this game looks. You can see it says 2 players are required, so we're just going to go ahead and swipe these 2 players right here to play, and then we're going to go ahead and hit start game. It is up to a 4-player game, of course. And you can see it's starting on the other side. You're playing across from each other, so I have to come over here. It says select the hex along the highlighted edge to place your koi, so you can kind of just place them wherever you want. Same thing over here. I will place him right there. And then the exact same idea, guys. Of course, it's on this side first. I'll show this first. So I will play this here. I will play that right there. Tells you to quickly tap twice if you want to end your turn. Now, if it comes over here to my turn here, again, the gesture seems to work pretty well. You put your hands right here. You can look at the cards that you actually have in your hand. You have these 3 here. And then I can swipe this card up. Then I can remove my hand. And it does exactly. Sometimes it does the action for you because if you're going up twice, that's very self-explanatory. Sometimes you have to decide what moves you want and what you want. And then after that, you just double tap the display. And that would be the end of day 1 since everyone did their round if no one else wanted to do anything. Then you go to day two. It says rain. Treat all movement icons as optional this round. You may only choose 2 icons per card. Follow the order shown. So we got some different abilities here. You can see the rain cards kind of stays there so you can remember exactly what's going on, which is great. Then you can select multiple cards here if you want to discard them, as it says there. I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, it looks like I have more than 5 cards. That's why. So I have to select 2 to discard here. Do I actually? Yeah, I have a bunch here. So as you can see, you can select these 2 cards to discard. So I'm going to select that one. Oh, you got to double tap. That was my fault. You got to double tap these cards. And then hit the check mark there. So yeah, you guys get the idea on how this stuff works and how this can add some, playability to some of these games when people don't have phones all the time and don't want to use a companion app or have their phone tied up. It is a interesting thing to have as an option. I'm glad they're doing this as an option so everyone can continue playing even if they don't have the means to, have a phone all the time. So great stuff from the Last Gameboard. Again, I just want to see both options. I still prefer the companion app. I think it's a much cooler and a more fun way to play the games, but I'm glad to have both options here. And as long as they continue to develop games that make sense to have both of these options there, I think both crowds are happy. The people who don't want to use their phones and the people who find a companion app really useful and fun to play with. So both kind of demographics there are kind of covered, and I think they did a great job. The Handblade is a really cool idea to hide cards and kind of play on here, kind of using a technology that only they have in their game board with the Handblade there, with their, unlimited touch that they always tout on this game board. That's just one of the ways that they can bring, some cool things to a game board like this is by using the Handblade gesture. So, guys, if you guys have any questions about what we talked about here in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.